Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm bringing you guys an update to my Morphtronic Telefon Cannon Soldier FTK deck. This might look eerily familiar because I literally just did a profile on this last week, right before we got the ban list. So, I just want to do a quick update because I was getting messages, comments, and stuff like, oh, this deck is dead now that we lost Curious and whatnot. I will tell you guys this deck is not dead. It just needed a little bit of a facelift, and honestly, this deck still works really, really awesomely. We can still go into some level 6s to go into Beatrice and whatnot, so there's a lot of different really cool things that you can utilize in this deck. So we're running a lot more level 6s and stuff like that in the extra deck and in the main and stuff. So anyways, let's get into it. But before we do that, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Also, if you guys are interested in helping to support the channel, you guys can go ahead and head over to Mammoth Headwear. They make hats for guys with big heads like me and a lot of other Yu-Gi-Oh players. If you guys have dreadlocks or whatnot, they make hats for guys who have exceptionally large heads. And they are running off a sale right now for 15% off. So if you guys use my affiliate link in the description below and use code BF15 for Black Friday 15% off, you guys will get 15% off your order. But we are running the 1 Cannon Soldier, then the 3 copies of Telefon. You guys know how this all works. You guys just keep spamming Telefon until you OTK your opponent. Then we're playing the 3 copies of Telefon. I'm just going to try to go through this this list as fast as possible. That way we can get into a quick combo, because I know that that's what you guys are mainly here for, to see if the deck can still work. So then we're going on into our 3 copies of Smartphone. This card is just super duper necessary to get into your extra cards. Then we have our 2 copies of Boomboxin. I increased this because if you can get Boomboxin on the field off of like a Telefon search or off of a cell phone search, then you go into your you can either use Boomboxin to go into your oh my gosh, you can go into Formula Synchron with your other guys, but you can go into TG Hyper Librarian, and then if you have Formula Synchron on the field with your Boomboxin, if you bring it back from the graveyard, then you can go into a level 6 Synchro. Then we have our 1 copy of Scannon. Just being able to get ourselves to our Morphtronic Converter is really nice, and he's another level 6. I was considering bumping him up to 2 copies, but there just wasn't enough space in the deck. 1 copy of Sculpin and 1 copy of Remoten. Remoten's just nice to be able to banish and search whatever you need. If you need to get to another Boomboxin, you can banish a Boomboxin to get the other one, or Sculpin can special the Boomboxin from your hand. Then we have our 3 copies of Gadget Gamer. Again, I just hate playing this card, but you just need it if you want to be able to get into your Telefon consistently. And also, now that we, since we have Gadget Gamer with the Gadget Hauler with the Gamer combo, it actually works really well. Now that we are playing Beatrice, so you just get Gadget Hauler on the field, and instead of that being like a random link material monster now it's just a material to go into Beatrice, so we can easily go into Beatrice with this deck, but that's going to do it for all the monsters. Now getting on into the spells. For our equipped spells, we have our 3 copies of Repair Unit, our 1 copy of Different Dimension Reincarnation, and our 1 copy of Wonder Wand. Like we had in the last profile, you just can equip Wonder Wand to a Relinquished Anima or your TG Hyper Librarian, send to the graveyard, draw 2 cards, and then like generally you can find your Monster Reborn or your World Legacy Succession to be able to get that monster back if you desperately need it. Then we have our 3 copies of Machine Duplication. If you draw this with Telefon, you basically win. Then we have our 3 copies of Desynchro, probably the best card in the deck, just to be able to get TG Hyper Librarian on the field with your Formula Synchron and keep spamming and keep drawing cards, keep getting new stuff into your hand or on the field with your Telefon and Smartphone. 1 copy of Morphtronic Converter, just another consistency booster. 1 junk box, just because there's not enough space to have extras. 1 copy of Upstart Goblin. 1 copy of Pinpoint Landing. If you use this with your Scannon or your Smartphone, it's really good. 1 copy of Into the Void, and 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent. Actually really funny in my last video. In the combo part, I misplayed Small World, so you guys let me know in the comments. I was not doing that properly. It's been a long time since I played Small World, so that was my bad. But I switched it out for Triple Tactics Talent because you have just a lot of ways to either dump your Cannon Soldier into the graveyard or to draw it. So just Triple Tactics Talent to be able to draw more copies, more cards is really good. For our Monster Reborn like cards, we have Monster Reborn and World Legacy Succession. Like I said, super good if you link away or synchro away something that's really valuable, like your TG Hyper Librarian, and you just want to bring it back. It's really good. 1 copy of 1 for 1, and then finally 1 copy of Foolish Burial. But that's going to do it for the main deck. Let's get on into the extra deck. So for the extra, we're playing our 2 copies of Formula Synchron, 1 copy of Martial Metal Marcher, just to be able to get us something back. And then if you have like Marcher with like a couple other things on the field, you can go into, like if you have it on the field with a boombox in, you can go into your level 7 plays and stuff like that. Or if you just have like 2 Telefons, you can go into TG Hyper Librarian. There's just a lot of different applications for this card, but it also just helps you to get more like link materials and stuff to the field. 1 TG Hyper Librarian, as we've mentioned before, this card, like these 2 cards together just make the deck, because you just keep drawing and drawing and drawing. I was doing some testing last night, and I was basically able to draw my entire deck up until like 1 or 2 cards left in the main deck, and I was able to get to my Cannon Soldier and then FTK. It was really cool. 1 copy of Coral Dragon and 1 copy of Stardust Charge Warrior. These are your level 6 synchros to go into, and hey, guess what? They draw more. So Stardust Charge Warrior is basically like another Formula Synchron, so when he's synchro summoned, you get to draw another card. Insane. 1 copy of Power Tool Dragon to search for our equip spells, 1 copy of Anima, 1 copy of Link Karibo, and my new tech for the deck is 1 copy of Akashic Magician. So with this card, when it's link summoned, it's going to bounce everything in the field back to the hands. So what I like to do is, before I link summon it, I like to make sure that I have a Smartphone in one of these 2 zones below the extra monster zone, then link summon Akashic Magician, and then bounce the Smartphone back to hand. And then you get to basically resummon the Smartphone, use its effect again, get more Morphtronic cards to your hand, and then Akashic Magician is going to be able to excavate the top cards of your deck equal to monsters that are co-linked to it. So if you can like put a link 4 underneath it, then you get whatever is the co-link rating. So you can basically mill 4 cards if you get like an Appaloosa or a Saryuja below it or whatever. So overall, it's pretty cool to be able to go into this. So this is like another copy of kind of like what we were using Curious for, like to be able to mill an additional 3 cards. Unfortunately, you can't send like a specific card, but with Akashic Magician, it is nice. So you, with this, you declare 1 card, and then you send the remaining cards to your graveyard. So like if you're like, hey, I really want to draw Monster Reborn, you use its effect for the reveal, and then if you reveal Monster Reborn, you get to add that to your hand, and then the rest of the cards will go to the graveyard. So that can set up Telefons in your graveyard, or it can set up your oh my gosh, Cannon Soldier into the graveyard. So then we're going on into Nightmare Phoenix, and then still keeping in with the Firewall Dragon in case we mill it, and then our Saryuja in case we draw the Cannon Soldier or we get it back to our hand with the Firewall Dragon. Then we can special summon our Cannon Soldier if we've already blown our normal summon. 1 copy of Appaloosa, and then 1 copy of Beatrice. So that's going to do it for the 15 card extra deck. I am going to go ahead and shuffle up the main deck, and we'll do a quick combo. All right, guys, so we're going to shuffle up here, and we're going to see what we can do. Overall, the deck is pretty darn consistent, but, you know, there are still some small pitfalls to the deck. We basically have our 9 starters, which are Telefon, Cellphone, and then we have the Gadget Gamer, but we do have different ways to get into it with like Morphtronic Converter and the Scannon and 1 for 1 and stuff. So let's see what we can get for our opening. We have Machine Duplication. That's really good. Gadget Gamer. Okay, yeah, this is an awesome hand. Okay, and Junk Box just for extenders with Repair Unit. That's really, really awesome. So we're just going to start off very simple. This is actually going to be a great way to show the Beatrice combo. So we're going to go ahead and Gadget Gamer. Gadget Gamer is going to search for our Cellphone, and then we will tribute Gadget Gamer for Cellphone, and then that will also special summon our Gadget Hauler from the deck. So we'll just put Gadget Hauler off into the corner where we don't really need him for a while. We're then going to use Machine Duplication with Cellphone. This is absolutely nuts. This is like one of the best openings that we could have gotten. So we have our Cellphone. So this, I will admit, this was not the first attempt. I did have another one where I comboed pretty hard, but then I ended up using up my resources not too well. So this is run number 2. So we're gonna go with Cellphone, and we have a 3 there for this Cellphone. So we're going to reveal, and that's kind of the downfall of not playing as many monsters in this version. But we still got a lot of other ways to extend. We have our other Cellphone we're gonna use, so we get a 6. There we go, that's perfect. So we got a 6. And we're going to go ahead and take the Sculpin. We're going to put Sculpin in defense position since we don't have a boombox in our hand. This is just a free, easy way to get into a copy of our, oh my gosh, I'm just going to summon it right now. Our TG Hyper Librarian, there we go. Brain is not totally functioning properly today. So we're going to go into Hyper Librarian with those. Then we're going to use our last Telefons effect. And we're going to roll for a 5. We get a Telefon. That's awesome. And then 2 boomboxes again. I got to shuffle a little bit better. We have a Telefon, and we could put it in attack or defense position. I think we're just going to leave it. We're going to actually put it in defense because we have our board is pretty full right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Telefon's effect. We're going to roll, and we roll for a 6. So we can reveal, and we can try to mill a Morphtronic card, and we're just going to mill the Remoten. Remoten would be pretty nice there for later if we want to summon it back with our Junk Box. Then we can always use its effect to like banish a level 1 and then get a Smartphone to our hand. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a Telefon and a Cellphone to be able to go into a Formula Synchron. Now we get to draw 2 cards, which is insane. Maybe I'll put my hand up here for you guys to see. So we'll draw 1 and 2. We get another machine duplication, so that's also really, really good. What can we do with this? We have World Legacy Succession. We also just want to... So we have World Legacy Succession, so we could technically use this later to bring back our Gadget Hauler if we really, really needed it. I think we're just going to keep drawing more cards. So we're going to link away Formula or Synchro, Formula Synchron, and Cellphone away for our Martial Metal Marcher. Then Marcher will go off to be able to revive our Telefon, and then technically Hyper Librarian draws us another card first. So we get our Desynchro, and then our Telefon. We could desynchro. We're going to save Desynchro for our next Formula Synchron, I think. So what we're going to do with this, we need to clear up the board a little bit, I think. So we're going to take, I think we're going to take these 2 here, and we're going to link them away to go into our copy of Akashic Magician. And Akashic Magician is just going to go to a zone that it's not pointing to. If we had a Smartphone, I would have definitely summoned to this zone first and then been able to bounce it, like I mentioned earlier in the combo. Then we're going to go ahead and use Junk Box, bring back the Telefon, and then we're going to use our second copy of Machine Duplication. So we're going to go with Machine Dupe there, and then we are going to dupe and get our other 2 Telefons. So this is, at this point, if your opponent doesn't have like Nibiru or something, you like literally can't lose because this is just way too crazy. Getting 2 machine duplications off, that is just way too good. Also, I forgot that we had the Scannon, so we can already just go for the Beatrice combo. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the Telefon here to be able to go ahead and, yeah, we want to roll dice, and we're just going to mill more. We'll see, yeah, we can get a boombox in out. That's actually pretty good. So we get boombox into the graveyard. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take Gadget Hauler and Telefon here, and we're going to go into our Power Tool Dragon. So we got Power Tool out, and we are going to use his effect, and we're just going to reveal our repair units and our copy of Wonder Wand, wherever that is. Wonder Wand, we'll take that, and we'll go ahead and we'll just leave them face up, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll roll, and our opponent goes 1, 2, so we get our repair unit to our hand. Then what we want to do is we will go ahead and use this Telefon's effect. We'll roll. Roll there, and we get a 4, so we might as well, well, what do we want to do? We might as well go for Remoten, actually, this time. We're going to use Remoten to banish our Cellphone, and then that's going to add us a Smartphone into our hand. Then we have a lot of monsters on the board, so we're just going to start clearing it up, and we can go, we're going to go Telefon and Remoten, Power Tool Dragon, and I never drew for the TG Hyper Librarian off of Power Tool Dragon, but that's fine. Yeah, we're literally just going to link away this Telefon. I probably should have put him in defense position, then I could have used his other mill effect, but that's fine, that's okay. So we're just going to link them away to be able to go into our copy of Appaloosa. So now that we have Appaloosa pointing to Akashic Magician, we can use its other effect. Once per turn, declare a card name, excavate the top cards of your deck equal to the total link rating of monsters, and then excavate any, and then if you excavate any copies of it, add it to your hand, and then the remaining cards go to the graveyard. So I'm just going to call Monster Reborn because, well, what do we want? I'm going to call Desynchro, actually, because we still have 2 more copies of Desynchro in the deck. So we're going to call that. We're going to go, oh my gosh, and then we actually get Desynchro. So we can, I was almost going to say Wonder Wand, but we get our Desynchro to our hand, and then the other copies of these go into the graveyard. So if we would have been able to mill our, let's see how far he was. Oh, Cannon Soldier, he was way down in the deck. But yeah, that's just another way that you can possibly mill Cannon Soldier to the graveyard. But now what we are going to do, these are in our hand. We're going to special summon out our Smart Fawn by banishing this useless Smart Fawn because he was not properly summoned. We'll now use this Smart Fawn to be able to roll for a 3, and we get another repair unit to our hand, which is super duper cool. Definitely like that. So now what we are going to do is we would be able to, well, so we have the Scannon in hand, but we can't summon him quite yet. And then we have the World Legacy Succession. So I think we're probably going to go, well, and we have the repair unit. We can't use the repair unit to pitch Scannon because then we can never summon him back again. But actually we are going to, yes. We're gonna go with repair unit, pitch the Scannon, and then Scannon is going to go ahead and that will revive our copy of Telefon. We're going to use Telefon then to roll, and then we can only get a level 1, but that's fine because we're probably just going to go for a Selfon because we want more non-link monsters. We're then going to take these two, or actually we're going to take Selfon and Smart Fawn because these two are just insane together to go into Formula Synchron. Then we get to draw 2 cards, so we're going to go 1 and 2. Then we're going to desynchro here, desynchro them, and since these were properly summoned, the Smart Fawn, you just have to make sure that he was properly summoned earlier. So we're going to go ahead and roll there, and we are going to roll for a 1. That's not going to do anything, but that's totally fine. We just get to keep drawing random stuff. So now we're going to go ahead and use our, we're going to Synchro Summon again and draw 2 more cards, which is just insane. Now we got Cannon Soldier and Foolish Burial. These are the 2 cards that we just cannot draw. I'm just not drawing them in the combo. So we're just going to put them back to the bottom of the deck and draw 2 different cards. We're going to desynchro here, and then we can bring them back again. And now we can go ahead and use Smart Fawn one more time, reveal 3, and we are just, again, very, very low on Morphtronic-like cards. So that's okay, though. We have 1 for 1, which is actually not very good anymore because I think we've used up all of our other cards. But now, so now basically what the next avenue that we want to go with is we're going to take our Akashic Magician with our Selfon and Telefon, and we will link them away to go into our Firewall Dragon. Just Firewall Dragon now is going to be prepared for when we do get some milling going. We're going to then take Smart Fawn to be able to link away to go into our copy of, Synchro into our copy of Charge Warrior. So now with Charge Warrior, we are able to draw 1 card on its summon. Unfortunately, we don't have TG Hyper Librarian, but that's okay. We have just a zillion cards in our hand anyways. The one big problem that we do have going with actually having Firewall Dragon there is that now we can't use our World Legacy Succession to bring back our TG Hyper Librarian because we don't have any link zones that we're pointing to. But what we can do is we are going to basically activate our Morphtronic Repair Unit and pitch Boombox into the graveyard, and then we are going to use Telefon. We're going to special summon Telefon back, and we are going to activate Telefon. Wow, okay, so we roll 1 there, and we just get our Selfon back. Or actually, we're just going to go for another copy of Telefon. That's actually a little bit better. So we'll go Telefon here, and we'll roll for a 6, which is, or sorry, what am I doing there? We got to go, and so unfortunately, we can't get our Scannon back because he was not properly summoned, but we can go for our Boombox in here. So we are going to take our Boomboxin, and with that, what do we want to do here? So we have Boomboxin. Actually, no, instead of Boomboxin, we would want to go for our Selfon. So we'll take Selfon there, and with our Selfon, we are going to take Telefon, and we are going to go into our last copy of Formula Synchron. So we will roll there, or no, what am I doing for a roll? We're just drawing, sorry, nice. And then we do get a Smart Fawn. So Smart Fawn, what do we want to do with Smart Fawn? We can't special that yet. We're just going to activate a repair unit, and we're going to pitch our Smart Fawn with the repair unit to bring Boomboxin back from the graveyard. We're going to take these 2 to synchro into our copy of Coral Dragon. Now we can take Coral, and we are going to overlay into Beatrice. Now we can finally go ahead and use Beatrice to be able to detach material and then we are going to be able to pitch Cannon Soldier into the graveyard. Now we can use our Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon is going to get Cannon Soldier back into our hand, which is super awesome. Now we probably want to leave Appaloosa on the field if we can. Can we? Yeah, we're going to use our Different Dimension Reincarnation to discard a card. I think we'll just discard our Gadget Gamer, discard that, and we will get back our Telefon. And so Telefon comes back from the Banish Zone. We'll use Telefon's effect. I don't think we have any targets left. We're going to go for a 2. Nope, definitely not. So we do that, but now we have 4 materials. So we're going to take these 4 to be able to go into Saryuja. So we'll hit up Saryuja, and then Saryuja is going to draw us 4 cards from the deck. So we'll go 1, oh my gosh, we still have Converter left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get the Monster Reborn on top of it, so that's awesome. We've got to send 3 back, so right now Desynchro doesn't do us anything, Machine Duplication and 1 for 1 are all dead. The rest of these cards we actually probably can use, so those will go to the bottom of the deck. Now we're going to go ahead and activate our World Legacy Succession to bring back the Telefon. Look at how far we have come into the deck. There's definitely, like, obviously because we put back the Cannon Soldier and Foolish Burial earlier, there is a more optimal way to run this, but now we can activate our Into the Void and draw 1 card from the deck. We get a Gadget Gamer. Then we can just go ahead and use Saryuja, Special Summon Cannon Soldier, Telefon's effect will go off. Look at how big my graveyard is. And we can go ahead and finally add back the Telefon, and we can just keep going. Cannon Soldier, pop, and we have Appaloosa for a little bit of protection. Telefon, revive, pop with Cannon Soldier, and keep burning our opponent's life points away. We didn't even have to use the Monster Reborn to bring back, like, our TG Hyper Librarian or anything. But anyways, this was pretty cool. This was pretty fun. Like I said, I kind of, like, on purpose, I ran this sub-optimally. That way you guys could see if I'm not using, like, Foolish Burial in the combo, or if I don't draw a Cannon Soldier, like, how does this all go? But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this combo tutorial and deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Obviously, this deck is not dead yet. Morphotronic FTK is still very much alive. And you guys can kind of change up the main deck a little bit if you guys want to still add Small World in to add in Cannon Soldier and stuff from your deck to your hand. That stuff is always possible as well. But anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this one down in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys for the next profile. Peace.